Hello everyone, welcome back. So I have the whale geometry here being read in using Alembic, and if we dive inside, it's an Alembic file, and I'm using a time offset to shift everything to 1001. And first thing is we need to prep the collision geometry, the flip solver, and the flip object. And in this video we're gonna set up the collision and the flip solver, and then we're going to continue with the rest in the next video. So let's create a new geo node and call this whale call for collision, and I need a copy of this. And let's dive inside and create an object merge. Okay, and by default it's an Alembic, it's a packed Alembic, so we need to unpack this. And by default it converts it into, it generates a polygon soup. We need an actual poly, so I'm going to convert that. And let's create the SDF for this, so VDB from polygon. I'm going to lower this to capture all the details. This is a bit high, but I think for the resolution this is fine. For the details that we need, this is fine. Okay, and then I'm going to create a null, call this out whale geo, and this is going to be the whale SDF. And I've already written this to disk, because if we scrub through, you can see it takes time to read it in. And I'm gonna load the cache from disk. I'm gonna use so basically I wrote that already. I'm going to use a file read, and this is what the cache looks like. Okay, and then the next thing is, if we middle click here, see there's only point and UV, and we need the velocity vector. So let's compute that using a trail node, set it to compute velocity, and now we have a velocity vector. This is very, very important, and it's important to compute this at the correct scale to get the right magnitude. Now this whale is at the correct scale. It's its length is 15 meter, and we're going to create a flip tank that is 40 meters in size, and that's going to cover pretty much the area needed for the whale to do the splash properly. Okay, so let's go up. Let's create a dot network. I'm going to call this flip sim. And let's dive inside. I'm going to change the color. Let's dive inside and create the default objects. And we need the flip solver. We need a static object. We need a flip source. A flip object. And this is not a static solver, static object. We need a merge node. We need gravity. Okay, let's connect this. And let's go to the first frame. And this is a static object. I have to make sure that left input affects right input. The order is left first. I'm going to call this whale geo, and let's set it up. Sub path is whale geo, and then the SDF is, I'm going to set this to volume sample, and this is going to be the SDF. Okay, and because it's a deforming geometry, we need to turn on use deforming geometry, and reevaluate. We need to turn on reevaluate SOP to interpolate geometry. This is helpful for the substeps information, and that's pretty much it. So flip scene. Now obviously we're not emitting enough fluids, it's only those particles, but I think no, it didn't hit the whale. Okay, so let's do this. Let's change the particle display to the display from sprites to particle, and then in the next video we're gonna create the flip source, and we're gonna set it in a way that works properly with the narrowband technique. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.